Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn some of the best SAT reading tips that will help you answer the questions really fast and can easily get you a 740 plus score. Let's look at the first tip. Take a moment to understand the question before you jump to eliminate any answers. This is especially true when a question is worded in a complex or confusing way. High scorers often lose points because they don't take a few seconds to think about what complicated questions are really asking. As a result, they are either unsure of what they are looking for or thinking in the wrong direction when they got to look at the choices. Then they get confused. So the next tip is opposite trick. Okay, so what many of you do is to read the passage quickly so that you have more time to spend on the questions, or maybe you were taught to read the questions first, then read the passages really fast, and then answer the questions. But either way, both of these methods are actually a waste of time. You probably never realized this since you are so used to doing it, but the reason why you have to spend so much time on the questions is because you are reading passages quickly, which prevents you from getting a thorough understanding of the text. And if you are not able to completely understand the passages, then you are going to have to spend more time on the questions and more time flipping back to the passage to read certain parts. So here's where the opposite trick comes into play. Instead of answering the questions slowly and reading the passages quickly, I do the exact opposite. I spent more time reading the passages and less time reading the questions, so it takes me about 6 to 8 minutes to read each passage and 1 to 2 minutes to answer the questions answer the questions set for each particular passage. And so spending about 35 minutes reading all the passages and a total of 8 minutes answering all 52 questions, giving me about 20 minutes or more than 20 minutes to spare. And besides improving your speed, this method will also improve your accuracy. And the reason being is that when you are reading passages slowly, not only you are more likely to pick up on tiny details that will help you answer some of the more specific answers, even when you are able to attend a general understanding. While reading the passages fast, you are more likely to miss certain event saying in the text that makes it hard to answer some of the questions, and that will also put you at risk of failing for trap answers. The next tip: hold out against turning back. So this next tip is that you should make it a goal to only refer back to the passage only when the question asks you to do so. And while this might seem hard, it's actually pretty easy to do once you gain a deep understanding of a text. And this will save a lot of time since you are not gonna be flipping back and forth between the questions and the passages. The only time you should be referring back to the passage is when you come across a question that's something like, what does this word in line 35 mean? Or which line best supports answer to the previous questions? Or maybe something like, what is the purpose of this paragraph in line 39 to 38 means? For these types of questions, it's nearly impossible to answer them without going back to the passage and rereading specific lines. But there is a trick. You can give answers to these type of questions faster, which I'll explain you in the next tip. The fourth tip: don't check each answer choice for evidence questions. Okay, so you might be used to crossing out each answer choice for the questions that are like, which line best supports the answers to the previous question. But this is a huge waste of time. So what should be done is, instead of taking the lines and going back to the passage for each answer choice, think about whether I saw the evidence in the beginning, middle, or end of the passage. And from there, you will be able to eliminate at least two answer choices. And then you will be left with just taking the remaining two. For example, in this question over here, I will think about where in the passage I remembered that evidence being. And if it was at the end of the passage, then I'll be able to safely eliminate the first two options. And then I'll just have to check the last two options. Also, just a bonus tip. For these type of questions, you want to make sure you are underlining the lines in the passage that we choose as the answer so that when you finish early, it's easier for you to double check your work and you can easily and you can see exactly where you found the evidence. For questions that ask you to define words based on the context, do not choose primary definition answers. I repeat, do not choose primary definition answers. Honestly, if you see your primary definition answer choice first, you can just eliminate it right off the bat. And just to clarify, the primary definition of a word is its main definition. For instance, you might have come across a question like, what does common mean in the line 38? Then a primary definition for common would be usually or typically, and a secondary definition would be shared. And tip for this type of question is you can substitute your answer choice and see if it still makes sense. So, like say the question was talking about the word common, you could replace the common word with the word shared, and if it still makes sense in the context, then it's likely going to be the answer. And the reason why it's going to be the answer is because the primary definition may be the definition of common, but they are not gonna fit in that context because usually a word like common is being used for its secondary definition. If the question is asking like what does it mean in the context, generally it's not what you think it's going to be. It's the secondary definition. So whatever answer choice you choose, it has to fit in the context. Let's look at this example. In line 77, the word hold likely means there are four options: carry, clench, portray, support. So in this one, the word hold likely means got carry. It's a primary definition. Cross that out because you know when you are carrying something, you are holding. When you clean something, you are holding something tightly. So you are left with two: support and portray. It is a good example of any choice answer that just has nothing to do with the original word and it probably doesn't fit in the context. So if you have something like this, it's always good to like plug in the answer choices. Like if you are doing to plug both in, because in this case, it doesn't even make sense. So it's have a very little similarity with other two primary definitions and are obviously very similar. And then answer is the second definition. So it fits in the context and it maintains the same meaning like in terms of the context as the original word. Tip number 5, keep moving through the passages and the answers. Reading and rereading confusing sections of a passage is one of the biggest cause of time problems. If you find yourself starting to loop over the same section, you must resist the temptation to reread over and over again. That section might be only be relevant to a single question or no question at all. If you spend a lot of time on it, you are likely to end up rusting later in the section and losing easy points. Tip number 6, practice keeping calm when you don't know the answer right away. If you stand a serious chance of scoring an 800, there is a good chance that you are pretty good at recognizing correct answers. There's also a pretty good chance that most of the questions you are getting wrong are the ones you aren't sure about in the first place. When this is the case, one of the biggest challenges tends to involve managing your reaction when you encounter questions you aren't sure about right away. This might only happen 3 or 4 times throughout the test, but that's enough to cost you time. From what I have observed, many students who fall into this category have a tendency to freeze, then panic, then guess. Learning to keep calm is a process. You have to practice it when you are studying in order for this type of test. Any chance of your doing it during the actual test so that you can actually come out with a better plan. Tip number 7, always understand your mistakes. Mistakes usually fall into one of 4 categories. First, context weakness. Second, time pressure. Third, question comprehension issue. Fourth, careless error. After you finish a practice test, catalog all the questions you answer incorrectly so you can work on detecting error patterns. Tip number 8. Pay attention to connotation and context. This tip is critically answering tough questions in the reading section. Look for words that indicate positive or negative connotation in the past of the passage that the question references. This can help you to eliminate at least a couple of choices even if you have no idea which of the remaining choices is correct. Thank you. Hope you liked the video and loved it and you learned a little bit from the video.